What God cannot do. Indeed, Chijimma Awayegum. On 25th of May, I was very healthy throughout my life. The only sickness I do experience is malaria. On 25th, I was feeling funny and I went to lab. They say it's malaria plus plus. I was like, it's a usual thing. So I bought malaria. They gave me malaria drugs and all that. I was taking it. After 2 days, my body started changing. I started swelling up. I was like, this one is not ordinary. I'm living close to Cedar Crest. I went straight to the hospital. And after the consultation and everything, they said I should come back by 2 o'clock. They will call me. So they called me by 2 o'clock. I went back and they booked me for emergency. And that was how it started. The next thing they said is kidney issue. I didn't know what to do. Mommy, all I could remember was that since 2020, I joined nsppd. I've been praying for one thing. I know God have not answered me that. But each time I'm taking communion, I only remember one thing for the last communion. It says, I ask for mercy. I was having kidney issue and at the same time having lung problem at that spot. I was booked for dialysis. They say I'm going for 3 sections of dialysis. I went for the first dialysis. I was transferred to Zenith Medical and Kidney Center. On that process, I didn't have blood. They needed to. At the process, I was on oxygen. I was helpless. But at the same time, the only thing I was remembering was the prayer of mercy. I was just calling on God of NSPPD for mercy. After the first turn of the dialysis, early in the morning, the prayer for NSPPD, Pastor Jerry said, you are booked for dialysis. I was not aware. It was my sister that tapped me and said that they say you are not going for the dialysis again. It was like a dream. My first time of miracle. The doctors, they were like, since the expense here is much, we are going to transfer you to National Hospital. From National Hospital and be going to the Zenith Medical for the dialysis. I was like, going to National Hospital again. I know if I get there, they don't even have time for people. So I keyed to that not going to the second dialysis because I know what I passed through the first one. On that process, my sister I had someone that was working in Queen's Medical Center in Zone 6. So I was transferred to the place. When I got there, the first thing that happened was that the urine I was not making at that process, I started making urine. The creatine level was 1,000 plus. They said the doctor was like, since I've started making urine, I should go back. They should just run a test and let's see what is happening. the creatine level dropped to 825. At that process, I was still sticking to God because He's just the only hope I had. He was the Alpha and Omega, the fountain of the living water, the ancient of days. He was the only one I needed to call on. And it was the hour of mercy. I was just listening to God. Oh God, have mercy. To round it all, day before yesterday, the creatine level have dropped to 225. I'm healed and hearty. I've come to return all the glory to Almighty.
What God cannot do. If you can heal kidney disease, you can remain seated. But if you know that we serve a God who tears medical reports, throw your head back one more time and say, what God cannot do. What God cannot